At number one is wide receiver Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Should not be a shocker to anyone here at number one. And Dalton, I mentioned before how Caleb Downs showed an exclusive list of the guy who's a top 10 or number one player at his position going into multiple years. Jeremiah Smith now joins Trevor Lawrence as the only true sophomores in PFF history that have entered the year as the number one player in the PFF College 50. So he and Trevor Lawrence, who were legendary players in their freshman years, lived up to the hype despite having an immense amount of hype as the number one overall recruit coming out of high school. Both of them won a national title in their freshman years. Jeremiah Smith, just unfreaking believable. He's the highest rated wide receiver to ever come out of high school, and yet he already lives up to the hype already immediately.
If he was drafted in this past draft, if he was eligible, he would have gone no lower than number 4.
Yeah.
New England would have taken him over Will Campbell and figured out the tackle situation later. I mean, he might have gone as high as number 2, honestly.
Could've.
Maybe Cleveland or Jacksonville, depending what they would have thought of Travis Hunter. But, I mean, just you talk about living up to the hype. I mean, in 1 year, we've already got – and there's been so many great receiver prospects and so many great receivers in and out of college football the last handful of years. But you're talking about on the level of Julio Jones and A.J. Green and Calvin Johnson and guys who went in the top 5.
He made us stop talking about Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's silly.
Everyone's like, how are they going to replace Marvin Harrison Jr.? It's like, oh, that's that guy right there.
Here's number 4.
Yeah.
I mean, just the biggest matchup nightmare. And even Ohio State, when they were blowing a lead against Notre Dame in the national title game with their season on the line, and it's 3rd and 7, and they really haven't, and it's just chuck him one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get it. The one-handed catches, the body control. I think my favorite thing, actually, is that he dropped his first career target in week 1 against Akron, a screen that he probably would have housed had he caught it. Didn't drop another ball the rest of the season. His very first career target he drops, and not another one the rest of the year. I mean, one-handed catches against Michigan State, goal line fades against Iowa. I mean, just everything you could possibly. I think the only thing he actually did wrong all year was the OPI in the first first Oregon game. That's about the only thing he did wrong all year. I mean, you're talking about walking onto a college football field every week and being the biggest freak in college football as a true freshman. It's you just have to bring up those names, the Calvin Johnsons and the Julio Jones of the world, because it feels like we're in the extremely early stages of a Hall of Fame, a pro football Hall of Fame level career, and he's just got to play college. College football is just standing his way for 2 more years.
Yeah.
And now, as I think you heard him say, did you hear him say recently that, boy, his goal is to not lose to Michigan again? And I know that's been said a lot around Columbus, but if there's anybody I could believe when he says it, it's probably him.
Yeah, you got one of the highest-rated receivers of all time in Jeremiah Smith, now one of the highest-rated quarterbacks of all time in Bryce Underwood at Michigan, too. Should be an awesome rivalry over the next couple of years. But Jeremiah Smith, man, the most valuable receiver in the country this past year, according to our PFF wins above average metric. 89.8 receiving grade, was 3rd among all wideouts in America, more than 4 points higher than any other returning receiver in college football. Led the Power 4 with 15 receiving touchdowns, and only Tedero McMillan had more receiving yards than Jeremiah Smith. And Tedero McMillan was really the only option on that Arizona team. Ohio State still had Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, the great running backs still like Quinshon Judkins and Trayvon Henderson. They had plenty of options, and yet Jeremiah Smith still was 2nd in the Power 4 in receiving yards. 6'3", 215 pounds. Now, actually, I heard Dalton, he's at like 225 now. Added 10 pounds of muscle as if he needed it.
Yeah, well, like he just needs more of it. Yeah, that's fair.
Only 19 years old with an incredibly refined skill set as well. All I've heard about his work ethic, he's the hardest worker in the building every single time out there. Jeremiah Smith is a special generational type of football player, and is crazy the amount of hype that he had coming into college. And he lived up to it in only 1 year in college. He's already the best player in the country, the cover athlete of EA College Football 26 alongside Ryan Williams. Jeremiah Smith, man, just all the hype was well-deserved, and maybe not even enough hype for him coming into college to our number 1 player in college football right now.
I mean, you want a vertical threat. Actually, you want a threat at all levels.
Yeah.
Perfect 99.9 deep receiving grade, over 20 yards. One of 12 receivers to do that last year. Perfect 99.9 intermediate grade. 10 to 19 yards, one of just 4 receivers to do that, and 19th in the country with a 93.8 on short passes. And that's really reserved a lot for some of those slot guys that make things happen after the catch, right, and make people miss. 19th, top 20, under 10 yards, perfect over 10 yards at both levels. I mean, it's just you just look at him, and honestly, I every week last year, after a while, I'd just watch him, and we saw him live a couple of times. I just shrug. I just go, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's cool. I know Ohio State. They're wide receiver but this is a different level, even from all of the other great ones they've had. Garrett Wilson, Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, Harrison. Let me know if I'm missing any. Ibuka went the first, and this feels like a different level than all of them. Terry McLaurin, I can't forget about.
True.
He's great for the Commanders, but yeah, just a freak of nature. He's an alien. I don't know what else to say about Jeremiah. We're honestly just going to spend the next 2 years hoping he doesn't get hurt.
And honestly, he had a really good season before the playoff, but it seems like they really figured out, we could just win with Jeremiah Smith in the playoff. And that playoff game against Tennessee, he had 6 catches for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, almost all of it in the first half because they blew out Tennessee in that game. Oregon, 7 catches for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns in that Rose Bowl. Quiet game against Texas, but then 5 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown in the national title game against Notre Dame, including the game-sealing catch on that 3rd down play, too.
I think those 4 playoff games really kind of tell you everything you need to know, because against Tennessee, wasn't there just a one-on-one go ball against Jermod McCoy? Touchdown, right? Oregon, there was 1 touchdown that they threw underneath basically on a screen, and he takes off 50 yards for a touchdown. Then they got him slicing through the middle of the defense through zone coverage for another one. And then I think it says everything you need to know about him. True freshman. Texas, best coverage team in the country last year. They basically, when you go back and watch that game, put every resource they had into just going, he can't have the football. He can't. Like the Texas zone heavy, they had like 3 or 4 guys surrounding him every play. They made Ohio State beat them with Ibuka, with Tate, with all the other guys, and they found a way to do it. And then again, Notre Dame's season on the line. What do? Just chuck it up to number 4. That's, what better play is there in college football right now than just, if he's one-on, what was the quote? Didn't he have a quote about,
don't play man against us.
Don't play man against us, right? Yeah. The best play in college football right now is just a go ball to Jeremiah Smith.
Don't play man against him, but also he had the 2nd most receiving yards against zone coverage, only behind Travis Hunter.
It's just
so you don't play. I just don't play against Jeremiah Smith. Don't play against him.
It's funny because he's just he's so special that there's not much real. We're going to say a lot during the season, during the next 2 years, and up to the 27 draft. You just watch him. There's not much that needs to be said.
Yeah.
This is one of the freakiest college players I think we've ever seen.
And I know for guys that we've talked about for years, when they finally get around to their NFL draft evaluation, we tend to nitpick those players. You can't nitpick this guy. Don't nitpick this guy. This guy is as good as they get at wide receiver. The greatest freshman year we've ever seen for a wide receiver, and the number 1 player in college football going to next year. That wraps up the PFF College 50, the top 50 players in college football. And hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.